An update on the raging forest fire in Uttarakhand that just might spell doom for the glaciers, which also feed some of India's lifeline rivers. Now, experts have warned that the devastating fire will have a long-lasting impact on the ecosystem of not just Uttarakhand, but the entire country. The shoots and the carbon particle that's emanating from the flames, which have consumed thousands of hectares of forests, can hasten the melting of glaciers, which also serves as, major lifeline for the North India rivers and also for the rest of the country. Carbon from the smoke and ash is covering these glaciers and might cause them to melt faster. The fires, which have burned for over 2 months now, have already caused massive damage to the fauna in Uttarakhand. And that's not all. The latest that we're getting about the Uttarakhand forest fire, that it has claimed another life. The police constable Pankaj Chauhan was reported to have been killed when boulders fell on him, this while he was attempting to douse the fire on the outskirts of Chamoli town. Meanwhile, the state and central officials have claimed that the majority of the area that was under fire is now under control. Till now, 4 persons have been arrested and 46 cases have already been filed under the Forest Act. Even as nearly 10,000 people and the Indian Air Force helicopters are engaged in operations to douse forest fires in Uttarakhand, we at India Today will be getting our viewers a detailed report from ground zero. In fact, we'll be getting in all the information and the updates that we're getting in about the raging forest fire, with rainfall predicted in the next 24 to 28 hours. The other big worry is the spread of the fire to neighboring states. In fact, just yesterday, there was news of the fire spreading across state borders to Rejouri in Jammu and Kashmir and parts of Himachal Pradesh. A school in Kasoli was evacuated after the fire reached very close to it, and then a midnight fire also broke out at the cemetery near Shimla. Blazes have also been reported from 12 new places in forests around Shimla, with the Chief Minister now saying that the rise in temperatures caused the fire in Shimla Rural Forest Division that gutted 50 acres of land.
What is happening in the aftermath? The people, those who have been living here, the tourists, those who come here, do they feel safe? Is it a good time for the tourists to come here? And how is here in Binsar, in Almora, one of the most picturesque places in this country? I have with me, Mohan, who runs our retreat, our hotel here in Binsar.
Usually, we are living here since many years, and every year this fire is going on.
But are you getting calls? Are you getting calls from people, those who want to cancel their reservations?
Exactly, that's true. They are afraid because they heard from the media too much.
One aspect also is that due to these fires, there is a rise in the temperature in the hills also. There is a lot of destruction, a lot of wildlife has been destroyed, trees have been destroyed, and this is something that people wanted to come and look out for, right? Isn't it?
Yes, for sure, I understand that, and I mean, there's nothing to argue about that. It's true, there has been a lot of forest devastated and all this, but I mean, it's still not like it is safe, and it is nice to be here.
We are worried like everybody else is worried. But also we are quite used to these forest fires. Every spring, to some degree, they come, and we are just hoping that after monsoon everything will be coming back to life again. And like they say now, at the moment, it seems very much better. We don't see any more fire lines.
Every year this phenomena does take place, no denying that. But because of the temperature and because of the ignorance of the people, the calamity or the volume this time has been so huge. We are hoping that few of these suggestions go through. The tourists, as Mohan was saying, as Dheeraj was saying, as Merit was saying, there is nothing to worry about. Please do come to Uttarakhand. They depend heavily on the tourist inflow. And only when people come, there will be possibly much more awareness, and such things could be prevented in future.
Well, and speaking of how the fire has hit the tourist industry, the 90-day blaze has widespread ramification, not just for the ecology but also for the economy of the hill states, because we have reports where the tourism officials are now worried that the Char Dham Yatra, which is also a source of great revenue, might get affected. Officials were expecting a huge fall this year, and now they fear a plummet in the tourist numbers, as even Ankit was pointing out in his report there. It is quite similar to the situation that happened during the disaster of 2013. Raging forest fires in Uttarakhand could also have a devastating effect on the state's glaciers, which are the lifeline of major rivers flowing through India's northern plains. The fires have already resulted in a jump of 0.2 degrees Celsius in temperatures across northern India, which could also have an effect on the monsoon. In fact, my colleague Amita Vadva now will be joining us just to explain more about the Uttarakhand inferno and what could now be the possible reasons behind the raging forest fire.
That's right. The forest fires have been raging on in Uttarakhand for nearly 3 months now. But the government and the state authorities have woken up too late, it seems. We'll get you 5 reasons. What could be the possible reasons behind the forest fires? Firstly, that according to conservative estimates put out by the Environment Ministry, around 1900 hectares of forest has been lost to nearly cases of 1233 fire incidents that have been recorded till April 2016. Secondly, this year's mild winter, climate change, there's been rise in temperature, there's been less rainfall, has also added where the forest fires have spread across the states. Thirdly, there is also considerable speculation that these fires could have been the handiwork of land and timber mafia. Fourthly, however, it is common among local communities to resort to burning the undergrowth land for undertaking agricultural activities. And lastly, often forest fires can break out due to, say, lightning, that is natural causes, or human causes, just like, say, cooking fires or cigarettes, that can also add up that why forest fires break out so randomly across states.
Welcome.
Hollywood. This is a black tie event which US President Barack Obama previously joked is a night when Washington celebrates itself, brings together journalists, media barons, Hollywood.